Romp hate in the chat already. What the? Yeah. Run it back nation, what is good? It is your boy DJ Eastwood, Run It Back Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros. Greg Melly, Sixers talk with Romp. We got some things to talk about on this off night for the Philadelphia 76ers. You know what? We might call this collab the off night. What do you guys think about that? Off night.
We're all wearing hats. We're all wearing hats.
We are all wearing hats, and somebody got blocked in the chat before the stream even started.
I'm a Celtics fan.
Romp hate
crazy.
already in the chat, man. I don't even know. But hit the like button on the stream and subscribe if you're brand new. Hit the notification bell and buy my merch so I can quit my job. RunItBackMerch.com. What's up, guys? How you feeling?
Feeling good. I don't know about you guys, but I feel good.
By the way, everybody, Romp has a breakdown of last night's video, and I was watching it at work today, and it's fucking epic. Like, it's great. Dude, keep doing that. Everybody go watch that. It's Sixers Talk with Romp. Breaks down plays from the game. Educational breakdowns with, like, just Romp's just comedy, witty funniness.
Yeah, one guy commented, they're great, but I should cut out the cursing for educational reasoning. Speaking he wants to show it to his elementary school team.
I was like, let's be honest, Romp, you need to be a better role model for the people out there.
Did he really say he's showing it to his elementary school team?
No, he didn't say that, but he was like, it would be good for elementary school kids.
I mean, listen, if you're an elementary school head coach or whatever, and your job is to teach elementary school kids the game, and you're finding random people on YouTube, you know, like there's got to be better ways to find educational videos. But yeah, so the Sixers officially signed DeAndre Jordan, and the most negative space in the world of virtual spaces, Twitter.com. Goes nuts with the negative takes. DeAndre Jordan is washed. Somebody replied to me and said, DeAndre Jordan's going to kill us. He's going to kill us. I was like, what's he going to kill me for? He's going to kill me? Like he's going to kill us. And I'm like, oh yeah, because in crunch time in the playoffs, we're definitely going to be relying on DeAndre Jordan. I mean, obviously my first reply is, we just need a guy to get rebounds for 8 minutes. 6'8" Paul Millsap can't be the answer. We gave up 8 offensive rebounds in the first half yesterday. And we're going to play a lot more athletic, strong teams that are great rebounding teams. And that's literally the only reason that DeAndre Jordan was signed. I
have 2 things real quick. One.
Go ahead.
I'm wearing a shirt today, guys. I had a cutoff. Decided, let's go full shirt. That's one. Number 2, do you think this is the guy that Daryl Morey was talking about on the Road to Ricky Sanchez podcast? Low-key, I think it was. I think DJ's been the guy.
Not that I care, but you butchered the name of the podcast, and that's actually funny. I don't care, but that's
Road
hilarious.
To Ricky Sanchez.
The Road.
There's so many R's, dude. It's enough. The Ricky Road.
You're going to get banned, bro.
What's up?
The rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. They still claim that they are the only Sixers podcast, by the way. So yeah, who is that guy? Actually, that's a great point. Who is the guy he was talking about? Because it couldn't have been Cauley-Stein. It can't be DeAndre Jordan. He said there's a big name. Is that the big name?
Dude, I think it's the big name. I think it's the big name.
All right, so go ahead, one by one. Your opinion on us signing DeAndre Jordan and whether you think it's good or bad or doesn't matter.
All right, so like everyone that's mad at the fact that it's DeAndre Jordan is like they don't understand what we genuinely need. Like, dude, we're not asking DeAndre Jordan to come out and give us 26 minutes and catch alley-oops from the free throw line like it's 2014. All we need is this man to be better than Paul Millsap. Can he do that? Yeah, 96% chance that he's going to be better than Paul Millsap. Dude, that's all we need. All we need is DeAndre Jordan to come in and get a rebound, run up the court, jump high, catch it, dunk it, and then play some interior defense. And all of that he can do better than Paul Millsap. It's never going to come to the point where it's like such a huge decision. Worst case, he just sucks. And all right, dude, we have a sucky backup 5 for 10 minutes. Maybe he throws Charles Bassey in there. Maybe he has to force his hand with Paul Reed. That's probably a great scenario there. Best case scenario, DeAndre Jordan gives us like solid minutes. 6 points, 9 rebounds, and 15 minutes as DJ swatting the fly. Like, that's all it is, man. All we need is that.
Stink bug, man. A big-ass stink bug.
Jordan is the swat. I mean, it's not like this crazy thing. He's apparently a good locker room guy. He's wanted to be here. Dude, who cares? Like, it's not like this huge. I mean, he's better than Willie Cauley-Stein, and God forbid he's better than Paul Millsap. Paul Millsap is literally a walking negative. ever since Romp said something good about him, Paul Millsap came out.
Dude, he's not a center. You can't play him at center.
The worst player of all. Him and Furkan Korkmaz alone were the worst dudes I've ever seen.
Furk's going through a slump. He'll be back. Don't worry.
I was going to say, is that the way anybody that Romp says good things about automatically falls off the flat earth, like just walks off the side of the earth?
They might as well.
All right, so 2020, DeAndre Jordan, 21 minutes for the Nets, 7.5 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, 1.1 block. Andre Drummond for the Sixers, 18 minutes a game, 6 points a game, 8.8 rebounds, 0.9 blocks. So basically the same statistics, and honestly, DeAndre Jordan's stats look better, and people are saying he's washed. Well, yeah, he's washed, but not as a backup. It's hard to find a good backup. So I'm fine with the signing. Now we have options. We could go small ball 5 with Paul Millsap because Doc Rivers loves to do that, and he loves that because James Harden likes to switch everything on defense. Even though Paul Reed can switch everything on defense, I don't understand why he can't play Paul Reed. But then we have Bassey as well, and so we have 3 options. Well, 4 options at the backup center: Paul Millsap, Paul Reed, Charles Bassey, and now DeAndre Jordan. So I like the options.
Yeah, I mean, we should have 4 options. I guess we'll probably get into it anyway. Why in the world Doc Rivers just refuses to play certain guys like Paul Reed, Charles Bassey, and Isaiah Joe? When your bench looks the way that it does, what is the reason for not giving any of those guys a single minute in a basketball game? And what could Furkan Korkmaz possibly have on Doc Rivers for him to absolutely stink right now and still be the first player off the bench?
Good news. He only played 4 minutes in the first half, and then look who ended up winning by 15 points. It's come to the point, Romp, where it's just like from friend to friend, intervention style. There is no reason that he sees the court anymore.
It's just a meme at this point.
He is so bad at basketball. Like, I just don't think he's good enough to play in this country. Like, whether that's G League, whether that's the regular NBA, this dude he's such a negative. He's so hesitant. He can't score. Just give
his confidence is at an all-time low, and you're ruining it more now. He's glistening right now.
As it should be, dude. Because that man, Furkan, my buddy, I've hated you from the moment I locked eyes on you for the first time. I need you off of this team. Isaiah Joe can do everything you can do except significantly better, and he's younger, and he's quicker, and he's just cooler looking. Get Furkan off the court.
I agree. I mean, Isaiah Joe would be perfect with James Harden and Joel Embiid, but Doc doesn't want to play him or doesn't trust him for whatever reason. I said at the beginning of the year, like, I believed Isaiah Joe could be a starter for us and would be better than Seth Curry. Like, that's how much I believe in Isaiah Joe. So just because I'm a Furkan lover, mostly for the memes at this point, but like, I still believe in Isaiah Joe, and I think he deserves a chance. But when he comes in, he's got to make his shots because, Doc has a short leash with him for some reason. I think it's just because he's skinny. But Furkan's skinny too. Like, what do you think Doc has against Isaiah Joe?
Nah, it's because he's young. He's young, man. It's the same thing with Tyrese Maxey last year. Doc just doesn't trust young guys. Like
Furkan's like 24 maybe.
Yeah, but he's been in the
league. I guess he's
been
in the league. Yeah, he's been in the league for a couple of years.
He's been in the league, but he doesn't trust Isaiah Joe. He doesn't trust Bassey. He doesn't trust Paul Reed. It's just he didn't trust Tyrese Maxey last year. Game 7 against the Hawks last year, after Maxey saved us the season in Game 6, he played 1 minute. Like, Doc just doesn't play kids. He just doesn't do it. That's why he probably wanted to get DeAndre Jordan, because it's a guy that he's coached previously, and he doesn't want to play Paul Reed or Charles Bassey because he has just this ageism type of thing.
It's annoying. It really is. I think maybe maybe it was easier to get by, or it had more, what's the word I'm looking for, man? It was more legitimate reasoning back in the day, maybe, when the game was a lot more physical than it is right now, and you kind of, I don't know, maybe you had to be experienced. A lot of players were playing 4 years in college and then come into the league, and it was just a more of a physical game, and maybe you would be hesitant to play younger guys in that era. In Doc's, not even Doc's era, his era was the 60s, but in his coaching era was the 90s and the early 2000s. But right now, it's a shooting league. It's just an offensive-minded league. It's like Isaiah Joe can shoot. What What else is it? And Furkan can't. That's the thing. If Furkan could shoot enough to cover up all of his deficiencies, it would be like, okay, it makes sense. Seth Curry can shoot enough for the fact that he's literally 4-on-5 on the defensive end. Furkan is, I said this on a stream the other night, all of the things everyone said about Luka Doncic coming in, but Luka Doncic is good enough offensively to outweigh those things. Those, like, he's not athletic enough. European players aren't athletic enough to dominate the NBA or whatever. Like, Luka is so smart and so skilled at offensively that it outweighs that. Furkan Korkmaz is literally the definition of those things. I mean, so slow, so unathletic. He has skills, but not in this league. It doesn't transfer because he's just not quick enough. Doesn't shoot quick enough. I mean, it's like everything right now.
He's a shooter that can't shoot. That's how I describe Furkan right now. But
right now?
Right now, because
he had one season.
You don't remember what prime Furkan was during the summer league. Remember that 40-point summer league game? Anyway,
it's the worst.
That's what I love about Romp. He won't let it go. Romp won't let it go, man.
He's going to get my point out here.
He's always going to throw that right now. He's always going to throw that right now at the end.
See, this is the thing about Doc Rivers. There's so much talent on the Sixers. It's just that they're inconsistent talent. Like, some nights it's going to be Danny Green's night. Some nights it's going to be Furkan. Some nights it's going to be Isaiah Joe. But Doc has to stick with this specific rotation, and he can't ever change it. Ever. It's so annoying.
Last night I thought it was a lot different.
Yeah.
Last night he realized, Furkan Korkmaz is simply unplayable. He's simply unplayable.
The thing is, the crowd started booing, and I said that on my post-game live. They weren't booing Furkan Korkmaz. They were booing the fact that Furkan Korkmaz was on the floor before Shake Milton, before all these other players. They were literally, the whole arena was sick of it. And it reminded me of the Nick Sirianni refusing to run the ball and the entire crowd chanting run the ball for like 4 games, and then finally he runs the ball 50 times and they win. Like, some of these coaches are so stubborn, and the game is not that complicated. And basic everyday fans can see, like, I don't think you should be doing this. And then a coach who overcomplicates everything because he thinks he's a genius is like, maybe they're right. Wow, shocker. It's 5-on-5. It's not that complicated of a game, dude.
Doc is just setting his players up for failure, like bringing Korkmaz off the bench first. So if he misses a shot, the crowd's going to get on him. And then putting Paul Millsap at the 5 when he's not a 5, like, he's just setting his players up for failure. That's what pisses me off.
It's his veteran preferences, dude. It's all of this comes down to the exact same problem, that he prefers to play a veteran. If he wasn't so stubborn, he would play Isaiah Joe by now. He would play Charles Bassey. He would play Paul Reed. He would do what he is supposed to do, clearly, if he was aware of how the game is being played. And we wouldn't be having these problems. But, dude, it's the same shit every night, because it's the same core problem that he loves to play veteran players because he thinks he can trust them more. But at the end of the day, dude, no. I would rather have Paul Reed go out there and make a couple of mistakes, but have a couple of steals and just fly around. And he hit a nice 3 last game. Like, dude, you're not seeing any of that from Paul Millsap. I think he likes the fact that Millsap is theoretically a stretch 5, but he doesn't stretch the court out. He's not a stretch 5. He's not. He's just not. And Romp, I like him too, man. I liked him in 2016.
I like him at the 4.
Yeah, but
Paul Millsap? Yeah, exactly.
Like
I was going to say at 6'8" or 6'9", I'd call him a stretch 4. Like,
Yeah, but Doc doesn't play him like that. And the way he is, it's so unathletic nowadays, you can't put him at the 4 because 4s will destroy him on the other end of the court.
What do you mean? We got Niang at the 4, and he's not athletic at all.
Yeah, but Niang is an absolute dog.
Sniper. And
he's a sniper.
Paul Millsap is a dog too, bro. Come on, now.
Paul Millsap
has a nice stroke, but he's not getting shots. He can make 3s, trust me. Dude, I'm telling you, he's got a nice stroke, but like you're playing him at the 5, it's just not gonna work. But he did it in the second half, and we maintained the lead, so it's gonna work here and there. But you can't ride with it if it's not working. That's the problem with Doc. He'll ride with something that's obviously not working. Like, there's instances where I'm sure Paul Millsap at the 5 will have a run because James Harden's that good, and with that much floor spacing and the lane being that wide open, you're going to go on runs with James Harden. But if it's not working, then put a lob threat in. It's not that hard. You have a lot of options, Doc.
There's also matchups that should be pretty obvious to somebody like Doc Rivers, who's been doing this for such a long time. And some of the biggest, most athletic teams in the NBA, the Knicks are trash from their dysfunction inside out and stuff. But when it comes to size and athleticism, they're one of the biggest, most athletic teams in the NBA. They have Tom Thibodeau, and Paul Millsap was going to get smoked. You knew he should have known that before ever considering putting him in there. He's too undersized and can't jump to do anything with those guys. He was in the paint. I mean, he was in there for like 30 seconds and somebody got an offensive rebound directly over top of his head. In 5 minutes, he had 1 rebound and 2 turnovers and was a -8. And you're not wrong that it's not his fault directly, but Doc Rivers should have known you can't put a 6'9", 37-year-old out there with Mitchell Robinson and these young, like 6'11" athletes. They're going to smoke him. So
it's funny the Knicks have like 3 guys that we wish we could have as a backup center. Like Jericho Sims. Jericho Sims would be perfect. Even Nerlens Noel, dude. If they don't play him, just goddamn cut the guy down, Thibodeau. Just cut
I'm
him.
pretty sure he's injured again. I think he's injured again, actually.
Yo, did you see him dap Embiid up after the game? They were like smiling like I've never seen Noel smile before in my life.
That's awesome.
That is awesome, but man, that guy's a twig. That's why he's been injured his whole career.
Yeah, he's a defensive stud, though.
But yeah, you're right. That is funny. When we talk about when we lack like ball handling guards and we play another team and we see like 7 of them for some reason, and it's like we lack a backup center and we play a team like the Knicks and we're like, why do they have a bunch of guys that we don't?
Literally the perfect player to run alongside Harden. They have like 3 of them. And I'm like, dude, just give us one. Just give us one.
What is it, Doc? Are those players Charles Bassey and Paul Reed? And like, you know what I mean? Is it just the fact that
Paul Reed's much shorter than Jericho Sims. Like Sims is just an absolute like dunk contest type of talent. I think Charles Bassey's definitely good enough. Like I really do, Bass. I think he's good enough. But
you on the Bass train now?
Dude, I'm on the Bass train.
I was on the Bass train before the draft. Charles Bassey's 6'11". He has offensive skill. He has a jump shot. He has post moves. He can play defense. He's the total package when it comes to a player directly out of college.
Dude,
he was also listed. Yeah, he led the NCAA in rebounding in one season, and he was also listed as the most NBA ready player in that draft. The most NBA ready player. So when you don't have a backup center, how in the world does somebody who's 6'11" and is the most NBA ready player in his draft class not on the floor?
He's not even in the city, bro. They have him in Delaware.
My question is Doc Rivers this dumb, or are we missing something?
he's
like, we
old.
Gotta be missing something, right?
I don't know. He's old and stubborn, but you know the thing is, the Sixers are gonna. Daryl Morey's gonna put enough talent on the team that it's gonna outweigh Doc's deficiencies, and he's probably gonna get another ring and be, that
top
like
5
now
coach.
I have. Yeah, he's going to go from top 15 to top 5, but all the people that really watched his lineups every night are going to be like, it wasn't him.
Yeah. Kind of like Boston.
Yeah. Or maybe it gets to the point where Daryl Morey's finally sick of like, bro, I'm giving you players and you're not using them. I drafted Bassey, you're not using him. I mean, I know Cauley-Stein is a shell of his college self, but we lack a backup center, and I signed Cauley-Stein for 10 days and you won't play him.
Daryl's going to be like, all right, dude, I'm the coach. I'm coaching now.
Maybe he will. Maybe they'll just fire Doc Rivers.
He'll fire him if we don't win this year. That's a good thing.
I don't agree.
So, yeah, he will.
No,
100%.
I disagree, dude.
Unless we make the finals.
As frustrated as we are for players like that not getting on the court, how frustrated do you think the person is that literally studied those players and drafted them?
Yeah.
You know?
I
think Daryl Morey You think Daryl's sitting back like, why isn't Isaiah Joe on the floor? I watched all of this kid's college tape. I drafted him for a reason. He probably has those opinions.
And he loves threes too.
In all honesty, I would believe that Daryl Morey probably hates Furkan Korkmaz.
Now he was talking to him on the Ricky. He was like, he's in a cold streak right now, but you could tell he liked them.
All right.
I think he also knows that podcast is pseudo mainstream, you know what I mean? Like with the host being like a mainstream radio person and stuff like that. So he probably wanted to watch what he said.
That's true.
Yeah, if you're on Spike Eskin's podcast and you say Furkan Korkmaz sucks, that's definitely going to get out really fast.
Yeah, that would be
Spike
bad.
loves that dude for no reason. He loves him.
How could you not, man?
Yo, you're right. That's my fault, dude.
So can we all agree that Niang is officially better than Tobias Harris?
Yeah, let's go there, man. Let's go there. Good idea. Let's go there. Let's go to Tobias Harris because, man, the dude. Listen, and people said they didn't hear him get booed last night. It was more like groaning from the crowd. The thing about Sixers fans is like they're seriously smart basketball fans, and like, you ever hear them like sarcastically clap for somebody that like finally does something that they like? They're smart. Like you can tell by just the noise that they make that what they mean. It's almost like a language. There was just like a groaning when Tobias started to suck it up in that third quarter, and it was like I was like, oh, they're about to boo him. Like it was getting close to him being about to get booed, and I for the first time kind of feel bad for Tobias Harris because he's totally out of place. He has no role right now, and he's the second highest paid player on the team, and he's out there running around like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what to do.
Did you watch it's funny to me in the second half they try so hard to get him involved in the offense and get him going because everybody is playing well. Like Matisse Thybulle is playing well offensively. Everybody's playing well except Toby. And so they're trying so hard to get Toby involved in like the happiness of basketball right now, but you can tell he's overanalyzing and overthinking every single thing. And that's like when he's literally at his worst, because I wish we could just like have like somebody in his ear at all times just to scream like 5 seconds, do something right now, right now, right now, right now. Because when like it's 5 seconds left on the shot clock, he finally is making quick decisions. Like we just need that man to act quick, but he doesn't know how to do anything quickly.
Yeah, I mean, he's just not that good. That's the plain. That's just the honest truth of it. Like he made a career off of tough contested jump shots, and literally all he has to do on this team is rebound, play defense, and sit in a spot or do a little screen and roll with James Harden. Just sit in a spot. He doesn't even have to dribble. He does not have to dribble. Every once in a while he can if he's feeling frisky and making a couple shots, but he doesn't have to dribble. All he has to do is stand there and fire three-pointers. Because once again, he was 2 of 3 from 3 yesterday, which is very good. But I would rather it be like 4 of 10. I don't know. That would be awesome if Tobias got off 10 3-pointers in a game. But he just passes up open threes. That's all he has to do. Just accept your role. You're not a dribbler. You're slow. And
did you hear James Harden say that in that his first post-game press conference? They asked him about Tobias Harris and he passing up open looks, and he's like, yeah, a couple times I got him the ball and he hesitated and tried to drive past somebody, and I couldn't believe he was saying it. I'm like, it sounded like me talking about Tobias Harris. I was like, dude, he just said that out loud to the media. Like I think we finally have a player on a team that's not afraid to get in his ear and be like, yo, do this, because like people would take slight to somebody saying that to them if you're not on their level or if you're on the same level or whatever else. It's like a player like James Harden is so historically good at basketball. He can do that. He can say it to anybody. He can look at anybody and say, yo, do this. Don't do that.
Contrary to popular belief, but James Harden is a leader on the court.
Oh, yeah.
He is. He had such a bad rep, but the dude wants to win so badly. He's such a leader, and he's calling out guys just like Embiid called out guys this year, and it works, man. I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk about Tyrese Maxey in a little bit, but, dude, there's a reason why some of these guys are having career stretches right now. I mean, like, Matisse Thybulle has been incredible these last 3 games. Over 10 points in every single game. He's making his shots. He's flying to the rim. He's playing off ball extremely well with James Harden. Their chemistry is beautiful. Tyrese is, dude, we'll save it for Tyrese. I
could go on all day about that.
Because Tyrese, at the end of the day, is the reason why we're here right now. I think Tyrese is going to be the reason as to why we're a contender, because you can only do so much with 2 guys. But that third guy, you guys know this, man, that third guy is so important. And Tyrese is, I get so happy thinking about him. I don't even want to talk about that.
Bro, it's like his game has opened up so much because the attention's on everyone else. And it's like he's actually, you remember the game where he scored 39 points, the COVID game, when he was like the only legitimate player on the floor? he didn't have anybody setting him up, and he scored 39 points in an NBA game. So now he has the attention on 2 other players. He gets to be the third option. It's almost like we don't even realize how good he is right now, and we don't realize how good he's going to be. And he's in such a good situation being mentored by James Harden that by the time this dude's 25 or 26, he might be James Harden 2.0. And we might be looking at, you know what I mean?
A little undersized.
Definitely undersized. But I'm saying we might be Daryl Morey making that trade without giving him up may have set us up for the next 15 years.
Yeah. And you know what it all comes down to? The Mike Muscala trade or the Mike Muscala shot. So Mike.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike. And the Fultz trade. The Fultz trade got us the pick for Maxey. Yep. Shout out to Elton Brand. He did something good
Big
that
EB, dog.
was very lucky.
Very lucky. Let go of a failed first round pick for 2 seconds, and it ended
not
up
even just a first round pick, but the number 1 pick in the draft.
That you traded up for. Up for.
We basically traded Jason Tatum and Markelle Fultz for Tyrese Maxey.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, it worked.
But Tobias Harris, man, is like he feels the pressure. Like I think it's impossible not to feel the pressure. Like I think he's like, oh shit, there's 20 games left. I need to prove my worth to this team so I can be here next year. I don't want to go to Sacramento. You know, like I don't want to get traded to some Oklahoma City team that's gonna sit me at the end of the bench like Houston does with John Wall until my contract expires. Like the pressure's on Tobias right now. And it's just so ugly because everything we need him to do is everything that he doesn't feel comfortable doing. He can't spot up shoot. Like he can't catch and shoot. Like he feels so uncomfortable doing it. He only shot the ball 3 times from 3 last game. Dude, there were like 9 wide open shots that you could have put up, but it's that pump fake 4 dribbles and contested shot or contested pass that he is obsessed with.
Yeah, the thing I can't stand is when there was a clip where Maxey was on fire, and Tobias was like, "Let me post up at the 3-point line."
Yeah, that was on your breakdown. Dude. I was laughing so hard.
And you could tell, like during that period, James Harden was like trying to get Maxey the ball because he's a point guard, and he realizes that dude's hot. He's making everything right now. And 10 seconds left on the shot clock, just let Maxey ISO and do his thing. But instead, Tobias was like, I'm posting up at the 3-point line, demanding the ball. It's like, dude, that's the stuff you got to get rid of. He doesn't have to dribble. I don't want him dribbling ever.
What is with his just everlasting want to post up at the 3-point line in the first place?
Because he complained about that call.
Even if you're playing the game literally one-on-one, why are you posting up at the 3-point line? Like, stop it. Like, it's going to take you 39 seconds to dribble this guy under the basket, and then you're going to do a little turnaround, pump fake. It's too slow of a game. Especially for this, playing alongside James Harden, even Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, it's too slow. It doesn't fit what we're doing.
You know what does fit?
Gotta be run and gun.
You know what would fit? Harrison Barnes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, yeah.
Let's bring in some HB, bro. That's what I want so bad. I'm manifesting it so hard right now. That's all I want.
That would fit. You're right. But that is why Niang looks a lot better than him, because Niang's that guy that's just going to catch it and let it fly. He will shoot 10 threes, no hesitation.
Did you guys see, like, there's one time Tobias bringing it up the court and James Harden was pissed off? I think it was in the first Knicks game, but there was at one point James Harden was like, dude, pass me the ball. And you can tell he was pissed off because it's like, why you
brought it up?
Was that when Danny
Tobias.
Green?
He was mad at Danny Green, yeah.
Yeah, when Danny Green inbounded the ball to Tobias and Harden was like, dude.
No,
yeah,
he's
not
like,
that play.
There's another instance where Tobias dribbled it up where he got the rebound, I think. And like James Harden, he didn't like yell at him, but he was looking at him like, what are you doing?
I love how much Harden hates Tobias. Bro, James Harden is one of us. He's one of us.
He hates Tobias, bro.
He is one of us.
He's one of us. We can live vicariously through him. It's like we finally have a player that's going to say what we're thinking. Like,
yeah.
Put everyone in line. And I think that's what really inclined him to come here too, because of course he went to Brooklyn, 2 other big egos. We knew that wasn't going to work. I still don't even know if Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant's going to work. They're just 2 massive egos. Harden was like, I can go to Philly. They have a superstar, but he's kind of like not that outspoken. Not people on the outside think that he is. When I say Joel Embiid's humble, they're like, Joel Embiid's humble. Like, they don't understand exactly what I'm saying. He's not the kind of guy that's going to get in his teammate's face and be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? James Harden's like, I can go there and be the leader, and just everything can trickle down and fall into place, and I just think it's perfect.
I mean, we can go on like a broken record of why this is so perfect. I mean, it's the perfect position. It's the perfect situation for Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey and James Harden. Like, that's the three best players that are literally playing in the most perfect situation they all could. It's unbelievable how they all fit together so well. And for the first time in our lifetime, DJ, I saw you posted an Instagram picture of this earlier. We actually have players who should naturally play on the court together at the same time instead of running out 4 power forwards and a center and being like, oh, go figure it out. And saying Josh Richardson's going to be that guy to make shots. Oh.
That team was brutal. Bully ball. What? Whose idea?
That was Elton Brand.
In an era, I'm pretty sure like the Golden State Warriors were still dominating the NBA. In an era where everybody's shooting 30-foot jumpers and scoring 140 points, we had the idea to have no scoring and try to just out-defend everybody. Like, this is not 1987. That was the worst roster of all time, and I got a lot of subscribers out of those rants, but man, it pained me. It was not fun watching that team.
Someone commented on my last video. I forget his name. I kind of feel bad for forgetting because it was an elite comment. He said, no one will mention it, but Seth Curry being a part of the deal really helped Maxey out. And I was like, damn, he's got a good point on that. Because now he doesn't have to. Now Maxey's like the actual third option. He doesn't get his shots taken from Seth Curry. It was good. Seth Curry was great for us. But now you're seeing Maxey get the ball more and more with an actual point guard.
Yeah, less DHOs too. I mean, good God, dude. We asked Seth Curry to do way too much. Like, way too much. Like, he's just not that guy. He's a good player, but he's not that guy. And I mean, it's huge for Tyrese too, because defensively he can be more energetic now because Harden's a better defender than Seth Curry. And Tyrese isn't the main guy on offense that has to dribble it the whole possession over and over again. So like, he can spend more energy on defense, and he's playing better defense these last couple of games than he did all season long. But I mean, there's so many reasons as to Harden brings everything that Ben Simmons did, except way better. And he also adds generational shot creation. And Ben Simmons may not play this year. So, I mean, it's crazy.
And I think Seth Curry being like overutilized by us, just out of lack of guard play in general, kind of fed his ego to a fault sometimes, because it's like after averaging 20 points per game in the playoffs, I think the next season he's like, I'm the man. I'm as good as my brother. I'm the man. And it's like, you're kind of just still Seth Curry, bro. Like, chill out. You know what I mean? So you're right. He was taking shot opportunities away from Maxey because he felt like he was the man, and nobody was saying that. Nobody was like, yeah, Seth Curry's the number 2 option. You're still just Seth Curry, man. You're a great 3-point shooter. Sometimes you can create off the ball. Sometimes you can create your own shot, but you're still just kind of just Seth Curry, man. Like, I think we fed his ego to the point where he thought he was better than he was. I'm not here to trash Seth Curry, but I really think that's what it is. And it same thing goes with Tobias Harris sometimes, where the amount that he's paid maybe feeds his ego a little bit, where he thinks he's like a star player.
Yep.
And no, you're just, bro, stop.
100%. I also really like this comment that Shannon Donaldson had here, because I was about to say that I think Harden came in and had that pecking order and was like, listen, Tyrese, you're that dude. You're the number 3 dude. Toby, fuck you. And everybody else do your thing. And he was just like, I mean, Doc doesn't know what he's doing. Doc is just, he kind of lets the veterans figure it out themselves. But Harden's like, wait, I mean, Tyrese had 4 points in the first half last game. And then Harden was like, yo, you gonna play basketball tonight, or you're chilling? And Tyrese had 21 in the second half. Like, that's no coincidence, dude. Harden is the on-court coach that we got going right now. He solidified the pecking order, and he's like, this is how it is. And we need everybody to do what they do. It's important, man. Hierarchy is very important in championship winning teams. And
I think James Harden's one of the smartest basketball players I've ever seen. Yeah. And he's always played with another big ego. So OKC, Plays with Russell Westbrook, who shoots you out of games in the playoffs. Him and Durant are fighting. Harden's coming off the bench. He's not even like in the limelight of to even be in the same argument as these guys. And then, they don't want to pay him, so he gets traded to Houston. Goes to Houston, plays with Chris Paul, plays with Russell Westbrook. It's just never been in the right situation, and I think everybody's always underrated his playmaking ability because of the construction of his team. And now you're seeing when he's the point guard, he's literally unbelievable. I don't want to make the guy sound like the greatest ever, but just the combination of shooting, ball handling, passing ability. Mm-hmm. He's so good at passing the ball. I feel like he doesn't even have his eyes open the whole game. He's just dribbling half speed, like just no look over here, like fake pass here, fake alley oop, drop it. It looks easy to him. I really think he's just way better than everyone, dude, without even breaking a sweat.
At the end of the day, Harden's going to be known as one of the greatest players of all time. Like that's not really a stretch. Like it really isn't. Like he's a generational player, and he's 32 years old, still kind of at the tail end maybe, but he's still in his prime. Like I don't know why people were so surprised when Harden came out and was giving us 25 and 15. Like this is literally what he's been doing every single night for the last 12 years. I mean, Harden is one of the greatest guards of all time. He's one of the greatest scorers ever. He's going to be third in after next game in 3-pointers made, and nobody seems to talk about him when they talk about the greatest shooters ever. Oh, by the way, dude's been averaging over 10 assists for the last 5-6 years now, and this is for the first time in his career. He finally has a guard alongside him that isn't like a run stopper and isn't a guy who wants to create their own shot. Like Tyrese Maxey has the quickest decisiveness to his game, and that's why it works so well with Harden, because Harden can lull you to sleep. Give it to Maxey in the corner. Maxey flies to the rim in a second. But with Chris Paul would catch it, do his thing. Westbrook would catch it, do his thing. Tyrese doesn't want to. Tyrese just wants to get to the rim and score. Like it's simple, and it makes both of those dudes so much better.
I think you can honestly make the argument that the combination of James Harden's scoring ability and facilitating ability has never been seen before in the history of the game. There's a reason. I mean, it's the easiest stat is the 60-point triple-double. It's never been done before in the history of the game. When somebody scores 60 points, it's because they had the ball the entire game and never passed it. How in the world do you get a 60-point triple-double? It's crazy. He can score on anybody, and as soon as you bring a double, he's so good at passing the ball. What can you do?
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching, and I'm just smiling all throughout the games because it's like, For the first time ever, I actually legitimately can say with confidence, we have an offensive championship caliber team. And before then, I don't even know if we were looking at this team and how they play. I know it's 3 games, but it doesn't matter who you play. It's just what they're doing out there and how much attention James Harden garners and how much attention Embiid garners. No team. Well, teams are going to be able to hold them, but not stop them. And before, I don't think we had championship teams, not even the Jimmy Butler teams. Offensively, at least, you could say that. And Embiid wasn't at the level he is today. So, legitimately, I think it's the first time I've seen a championship contender in the Sixers, Is that fair to say?
100%, dude. I agree with you. I said that in my video. I was like, this is the first time in my life I can confidently say the Sixers are probably going to be favorite in every single series in the playoffs. As they should. I think they're deserving, dude. But again, it's 3 games. The next 4 games are going to be, we're going to go through the gauntlet. We have some really tough games ahead of us, and this is where we're going to figure out the team. But, dude, this offense, if you just think about it, we will either have Joel Embiid or James Harden on the court at all times. That's 2 top 10 players in the NBA. And in a series, that is absolutely ridiculous. If you really match us up against other teams, we arguably have the 2 best players in the series, both on our team. And that's so hard to beat from an opposing team and an opposing standpoint that this Sixers team is legit, really, really legit for the first time in my life.
And that's why when people were like, don't give up this, don't give up that. And my response kept being, get James Harden and pair him with Joel Embiid and figure out the rest later. You just did. Daryl Morey knew that. I'm getting James Harden. Pairing these 2 players together is unbelievable. The rest can fall into place if it takes a season. If we don't have enough this season because we gave up too much depth or we don't have enough rebounding or whatever, this offseason, you unload Tobias somehow. Veterans will want to come here. Like, this team's going to be so much better even next year than they are right now.
Yeah. And, like, I love the Kobe Shaq comparisons because there's no comparison you can possibly put Harden to Embiid to. There's no – I think it's the most talented guard-center duo of all time because Harden can do every single thing Kobe has ever been able to do offensively, but he's also a 10 times better passer. And Embiid can kind of do everything Shaq can do offensively and defensively, but shoot it at a much, much, much higher level. Like, I know Shaq and Kobe were dominant in their own ways, but Harden and Embiid are more complete players than them, at least this year.
Yeah, people that, old schoolers will hate to hear that, but it's just true. The game evolves. I mean, it's hard to compare eras. We've said that before because they didn't teach kids the same thing in 1989 that they're teaching them right now. So obviously players are going to have more skill, more well-rounded and all of those things. But it's a literal fact that, everything Shaq did, Embiid can do, everything Kobe did, Harden can do. People don't want to hear those kinds of things.
They hate it. Like,
but it's true.
I'm not even talking like championships or like accolades. Like, I'm just saying from a pure basketball skill perspective. There we go. Harden's just they're better. Like, and it's a different comp because Kobe just was an absolute bucket getter, and Harden's an absolute bucket getter, but he's also a generational facilitator. So.
See, what I love is our offense is finally just so simple because we have James Harden. It's like all we got to do is run a pick and roll, and if one guy helps here or there, he'll make the right pass every time. If he gets doubled, he'll make the pass right away. If there's drop coverage, he'll go one-on-one. If they don't play the roll man, he'll hit the roll man. Like, basketball is the most simple game. You can't stop a pick and roll. You can't stop a pick and roll. You just got to see what the defense gives you. And in the past, the Sixers had no players to make quick enough decisions at an NBA level where a pick and roll is unstoppable.
Yeah.
But you can't guard it with James Harden and Joel Embiid.
Yeah, you can't stop a James Harden pick and roll. This is a genius. This is an absolute genius mastermind in the pick and roll. He just reads everything a step ahead. He sees it in slow motion. A couple players off the top of my head, Chris Paul, Luka Doncic, they break the game down in slow motion. Everything you do, they counter right away. You step up, I throw the lob. You step back, I step back and hit a three. You bring the double, I swing it. There's a counter to everything, and James Harden seems like, at least so far, makes the right decision pretty much every time. It's whether or not the guy he passes it to makes the shot or whatever. But
him and Luka, unstoppable in the pick and roll.
Yeah.
They're very similar players. Let's
get through some super chats, man. We're having a great conversation. Thank you guys for joining me. 499 in the chat. Hit the like button, man. It's actually an amazing number. 500 in the chat with not a whole lot of significance to talk about. Well, there's significance to talk about. We're excited about this team, but not like huge
DeAndre
news.
Jordan, man.
DeAndre Jordan is pretty it's not groundbreaking news, but
it's a one-time all-star right there, man.
I was just watching his Lakers highlights, and actually I wanted to say this. People are there saying he's washed. Listen, somebody made a great point. I don't know if it was one of you guys or not, but Andre Drummond looked like absolute dog shit with the Lakers the year before we brought him here.
Dwight Howard,
and he didn't even get to play with James Harden. So I was just watching DeAndre Jordan's Lakers highlights. He has some. He can still get up. He's still catching alley-oops with one hand, dunking over people. People are going to be absolutely shocked if they don't go watch those. There's only a couple. There might be 5 or 6, but I'm just saying they're going to be shocked at what they see when Tyrese Maxey throws a lob to him or James Harden throws a lob to him. They're going to be like, oh, my God, this guy can still – he's 6'11", and he can jump high. It's not rocket science.
Yeah. And he hasn't been playing. Like, he's been resting all year, so he's going to be remotivated too. So I don't get how you complain about it. Like, we have James Harden, Joel Embiid. Everyone's like, I'm Negadelphia, but like, come on, man. Like, I haven't complained since we got in James Harden and since I've seen this team play. Like,
dude, I'll never complain. As long as Harden and Embiid are on my team, I'll never complain. I know what it was like. We know how bad it was forever. now that we have two dudes that we can actually enjoy watching play basketball together, I'm not complaining. And what do we need DeAndre Jordan to do? Give us 14 minutes of okay basketball. All we need is a 0 plus minus. Just give us a 0 plus minus.
Don't be a negative. That's it.
Just don't. You know how easy that is, dude? Just run around. Just do what Mike Scott did and forget that he's on the court for 20 minutes a night.
Yeah. Use your size, box out. Don't let people jump over your head and get a bunch of offensive rebounds, and that's literally it. We don't need him to do anything else. Anyway, Aaron Cabbage, you gave a super chat an hour ago. Thanks for hanging out, bro. Furkan is shooting 29.6% from 3 this season. It's not a slump. He's garbage this year.
That Milwaukee game, though.
The Plotnik Project. Furk must give good luck. 300. He was first off the bench with.
See, this is what you gotta see. You see this. You see how much they hate Furk. If you compliment Furk, everyone will donate. It's high. You think I'm doing this for no reason? Come on,
this guy's so wrong. I have to super chat to let him know. You're not. You got
the head of the chat.
You got the system down, bro. Furk must give good Gluck 300. Listen, Plotnik. I don't want to correct you here, but the correct term is Gawk 3000.
Nah, Furk's not that good. He can only give you 25%.
He was first off the bench with Brett Brown and now Doc Rivers as well. You're not wrong about that, man. Rick Bennett, for the Sixers, will chemistry or star power take us to the finals? Second question is, will we win in spite of coaching from Doc? Will chemistry or star power take us to the finals? What do you guys think?
Both.
Yeah.
The playoffs, you have to rely on a number one dude. We have two of them. And chemistry is vitally important. Look at, the Bucks and the Suns and most teams who win it.
I think Maxey's got that clutch gene. He's just a killer.
I love it. The fact that he's as young as he is, I love it. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's just I don't know. I just trust Maxey. I feel like he's going to have so many big games for us in the playoffs because teams are going to be game planning for Harden and Embiid. I don't know. I got a good feeling about this team.
I legitimately think it's a big three. People aren't talking about it, but Maxey can drop 30. Maxey can drop 30 when everybody's paying attention to Joel and Harden. We can have games where they all three drop 30 apiece. People don't even realize that yet.
He's also averaging 41% from three.
That's just ridiculous for shot 29% at Kentucky. That's one of the reasons he fell in the draft. Shot 30% his rookie year, and everyone's like, me included, I was even saying it. I was like, I don't know if this kid, I don't like what his jump shot looks like, blah, blah, blah. It was a low release, like a chest pass jump shot. He got his release higher. He changed everything. I can't believe it. I always said it's hard to change a jump shot because you've been doing it you learned it since you were 10 years old or whatever. The kid amazes me with what he did in one offseason. Andy Walken, Furkan got images of Doc. Furkan got images of Doc getting his hair tatted.
Should the Sixers sign Nick Stauskas?
Yes. Bring sauce in, baby. Bring sauce in. Dude,
57 points. 57 in the G League.
Dude, he's got muscle now.
The next night, bring sauce in. Bring sauce in. He's it's kind of like completing the process. Bring an old process kid back on the team, and then we get a ring. So there's a process kid and Embiid. Dude, it's a wrap.
Crazy part is the process is so old that I think Nick Stauskas is probably 35. That's how long ago that was. I'm out on Nick Stauskas. I don't give a damn about the G League. Paul Reed was a G League MVP. Can't get on the floor. I mean, he probably should be on the floor. It's not a shot at Paul Reed, but who else?
6'6", though, bro.
Furkan Korkmaz dropped 40 points in the summer league.
The G League.
Yeah, who really cares about the G League? It's not NBA players. It's not. I don't care about it. Yeah, get Nick Stauskas out of here. Sean Quick, Romp sounds like Skip when he keeps saying Ben once scored 42 against Gobert. Summer League memories, man. All these super chats are about Furkan Korkmaz so far. Keith Wells, thank you for the support, my man. I want to get caught up here. There's a couple more, I think. This thing doesn't load fast enough. I don't want to miss any of them. I always feel bad when I miss them. Thank you to anybody that supports the channel, drops a super chat donation. think that's
So the
all.
Nets are probably going to lose. They're down by 4 with 23 seconds to go. So hopefully Miami could hit their free throws if that's what's going on. So that's
The
good.
SG experience. Why are not streaming with RB Eastwood? It's so obvious. What do you
Get
mean?
these
It's
scrubs
what do you?
off the channel. Get this Romp and Greg kid off the channel, dude. They don't know what they're talking about.
What do you mean? It's so obvious. What does that mean? It's so obvious that I should be streaming with RB. What does that mean? I mean, RB is my guy. We're all friends. We're all. RB wasn't available. I was gonna have him join us three. We were gonna have 4 of us. You know, we're all cool, bro. There's no competition here. We all just do YouTube, man. Gambo, people think Furk is good because he has a 3. Everything's about Furkan.
Dude, why are you guys talking about Furkan? Like, who
Because
cares?
it was. I think all of these came in when you said something good about Furkan Korkmaz. You're not wrong about that.
But it's like, dude, Furk is not going to win or lose us a championship. He's
Joe
probably going
needs to get his minutes and see what happens. He's going to hurt us. You might not see Furkan next game. I think the first half of yesterday's game may have shown Doc Rivers the light. That Furkan is a great player on a bad team, but now we have a good team with a lot of talent, and Furkan doesn't fit. That's where I'm at with it. Sorry, Rob.
I'm just happy there's a chance that we could get a good Furkan game and a random playoff game, kind of like the Shake Milton experience last year with that Hawks game. Remember that? Like,
there's no reason. You should stagger Maxey and Harden.
Yeah.
If there's 5 minutes in between that, it should be Shake Milton as far as
I'm just saying if there's like foul trouble or something, say he comes in, like there's a chance that lightning in a bottle, and that's good to have because Shake did it last year. Everyone was out on Shake, and then he went off in that Hawks game, and then Doc Rivers was like, "I can't play you. No, not 2 nights in a row. I can't play you." It's like,
Brian, I think Tyrese's growth.
Guys?
I think Tyrese's growth also speaks to how good our coaching staff is, especially Sam Cassell, who's basically been his mentor. Yeah, look, dude. We could talk about it. I mean, outside of us roasting Doc Rivers to oblivion every day, it's an all-star coaching staff. Like outside of him, there's 3 guys that could be head coaches in the NBA. I don't know how Daryl Morey put this staff together, or whoever put it together, but Dan Burke, Dave Yeager, and Sam Cassell. Yeah, it has a lot to do with Maxey's development.
Big
sure.
Dan Burke fan, man. Big Dan Burke. Big
defense
Dan Burke
guy.
fan. Big defense guy. He's a smart dude. He really knows the game. And Sam Cassell, I remember I said this on the first ever stream I was with you guys. I was like, he's the reason why Tyrese is the man right now. Like, Sam Cassell is the reason. And apparently he's like a really, really tough coach on you. Like, he really gets on you when he's honest, very honest. And I'm a fan of that, dude. I'm a fan of that.
Did you see that practice where Harden was trying to show Embiid the step back, and Sam was watching Harden do it, and then he was watching Joel do it, and he was like, "That's a travel." And then he's looking at Harden do it, and he looks at Joel. He's like, "It's a travel." And Joel's like, "I'm doing the same thing he's doing." And then
It's like 4 steps.
and then the first game they play together, Embiid tries to do it and gets called for a travel. So perfect.
Maxey had a Harden step back yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dude, that's the thing too. Getting Harden, I texted this to my friend the first game we had Harden. I was like, thank God Maxey can only focus on scoring now because he doesn't have to worry about playmaking. He's just in his head because that's how he is as a player. He's a scorer. Now he just has to focus on scoring, nothing else. He could play make here and there, but oh man, that's James Harden's on our team, guys.
He's a shooting guard, man.
James Harden. Yeah,
So-
he's a shooting guard.
Tyrese is the shooting guard. It's beautiful. He's
the
like
Nets
Allen
got
Iverson.
The Nets got Kevin Durant back tonight. He dropped 31 points, and they lost to the Miami Heat without Jimmy Butler, without
And
Kyle
without-
Lowry.
And on a back-to-back after they just beat the Bucks.
Yep.
It was
On
an
a
emotional
back-to-back after
victory.
beating the Bucks.
Emotional victory. And
They
they had
gave
to
up-
travel to Brooklyn. That's
Bam Adebayo-
crazy.
Bam Adebayo had 30 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists on 15 field goal attempts. He was 12 for 15. He missed 3 shots in 33 minutes.
And they're going to stop Embiid.
Duncan Robinson had 0 points.
Dude, Max Strus is a stud, dude.
Oh, yeah,
Max
he's-
Strus is the guy.
Max Strus had
Where do they
21.
find those guys, bro?
He's the new Duncan. They overpaid
He's
Duncan.
better than Duncan, bro.
Yeah, I mean, yo,
Way
you guys
better.
want to talk about Andre Drummond and Seth Curry tonight? Huge games. Huge.
Yeah, let's go there. Let's go there. Andre Drummond.
Curry.
The players we
All right.
gave up too much. Yeah, the players we gave up that was too much for James Harden. Andre Drummond, 8 points in 19 minutes, 4 for 5. 3 rebounds. 3 entire rebounds for Andre Drummond. There's got to be something about the system in Brooklyn. I mean, I'm calling them the New Jersey Nets. And they were wearing the retro jerseys, so they were wearing the New Jersey Nets jerseys. So, you know, you're playing like the New Jersey Nets.
They were up by like 10 too. That's crazy.
It's not a good
Seth
team, man.
Curry, the greatest shooter in the history of basketball that we gave up, that we shouldn't have given up for James Harden,
The
had
midget.
8 points in 35 minutes, 3 for 10, 2 for 7 from 3, a -3. Probably gave up a lot on the defensive end. And it's just unbelievable how wrong these people are. And one game where he came out and dropped 26, they were going nuts. Like, they literally got Steph Curry in that trade.
I was in Net Spaces today on Twitter, and they were saying, swear to God, a dude said, this is the greatest collection of shooters the NBA has ever seen. I was like, I was smashing the request button because I was like, oh, we forgot about the Golden State Warriors. Okay. Or
So
every team ever.
so the
There
Hawks
will never be another Golden State Warrior. That's unbelievable that anybody would say that.
so the Hawks beat the Bulls today.
Yep.
And so that means the Hawks are 1 game back of the Nets of the 9 seed, and the Hornets are also they're 1 game back as well. So they could potentially fall to the 9th or 10th seed, the Nets, if they keep losing, which they probably will because Kyrie's gone and they're in shambles, and they have one of the hardest schedules in the league to end the season. And the
Yeah.
Hornets have one of the easiest. I think the Hawks have one of the easiest too. So the Nets might be looking at 2 playing games to get into the playoffs. And me and Greg Melly have a bet. Greg, what's the bet?
The
We
bet
got a bet
is
going on.
the bet is if the Nets miss the playoffs, I give Romp $100.
Mm-hmm.
If the Nets make the playoffs, Romp gives me $50.
Wait, I need to hear it again. I'm sorry, I was reading a comment. I need to hear it again. Go ahead.
The Nets miss the playoffs, I give Romp $100. If the Nets make the playoffs, I get 50. Obviously, it doesn't include the play-in. It has to be the final 8 seeds.
Wait, why would you bet? Well, wait, when did you make this bet?
Like 2 weeks ago.
All-Star break.
Somebody said that the Nets Twitter is going crazy. I'm trying to find some of the tweets just because I want to laugh at them.
Yo, Bernard Winkletoes says I won that, so it's a wrap, Romp.
Nah, bro, it's looking good, man. They're going
Dude,
back. They got to win 2 playing games, bro. It's tough. And guess they play Boston on Sunday now at Boston, so it's like that's a tough game.
Oh, I'm here for all this. Look at that. Look at that photo.
What the hell?
That's
The
good.
Nets big 3.
Dude, how is he not playing? Like, how? How long does
That's actually one of the topics that I put. That's one of the topics that I put in the notes.
Markelle
Kevin
Fultz
Durant
came back from an MCL tear faster than Ben Simmons. Same with Kevin Durant. Like, let's do Ben Simmons, bro. Just retire, man. You don't love the game. Just retire.
Facts.
Take your money and get the hell out of here, man.
Yep. Let's crown the Sixers trade the steal of the decade.
Yeah. Just retire, man. God.
It's wild. At this point, it's like, is he just trying to keep? Is his plan just to keep finding teams that will pay me to not play basketball? Like, I thought he was so happy to get out of Philly that he'd be like, all right, now I'm going to go work out. I'm going to get, he said he was staying in shape the whole time. He was secretly working out in different gyms around the city, and then somebody would find out and he would have to relocate because it's like the paparazzi. He cared so much. Like, that's a whole different topic. Like if you're working out at a gym and somebody comes and takes a video, why do you give a shit at all? I'm an NBA player. Yeah, I'm here working out. Take all the videos you want. No, Ben Simmons, like, there's somebody taking videos. We got to find a different gym. That's how sensitive and weird this guy is. And now he goes to Brooklyn, and these guys are coming back from actual physical injuries before he comes back from a pride injury or a... It's unbelievable.
Yeah, the Nets won the trade, guys.
We're gonna watch. This is amazing. This is amazing because everything in life, people always show their true colors, right? Like it's like if a female dates an abusive boyfriend for 6 years and then he moves on and dates someone else and she messages her on Facebook, you know what I mean, and tells her like, yeah, he's this and this. You just wait, you're gonna find out, and she doesn't believe it right away. Eventually, it's gonna happen. That's what this is. Nets fans don't know. We watched it for 5 years. They have no idea yet. And they're going to implode. They're all going to implode on the internet. It's going to be amazing.
Hot take, I think they know, but they don't want to think that they know. I think dude, it's impossible not to feel doubt with him. Like, they said that he's probably not going to play in March. The next thing you know, it's going to be the first round play-in or something, and Ben Simmons is day-to-day, and he still is yet to play. And you expect him to come in the first game being a play-in game and be a difference maker? Like, the Nets fans have to be worried, and I think they are deep down, but they just want to overcompensate for whatever the hell they're feeling, because the whole team is just a theoretical, hypothetical if. The whole team is just if. Well, when we get our guys back, if we get our guys back, like if the mandate changes, if Kyrie plays, like, dude, you've played 14, 16 games together in the last 2 years as a big three. I don't want to hear it, dude.
Somebody on ESPN called them the greatest hypothetical team of all time. And he wasn't saying that as a joke. He was saying what you were just sarcastically reiterating, that they're all going to get healthy. We just haven't seen it yet. I forget who was saying this. And he's like, don't forget. Oh, it was a freaking Zach Lowe. This guy says some of the craziest, dumbest things ever. He was one of the Harden and Embiid isn't going to work together. He was like, well, when Embiid's dribble in the paint, what's Harden going to do the whole time? I don't know, stand at the three-point line and like shoot wide open threes when he kicks it out. It's not rocket science. But it was Zach Lowe, and he said, don't forget that this is the greatest hypothetical team of all time. They just haven't played together yet. And I'm like, did you just say that out loud? The greatest hypothetical team of all time. Like, the word hypothetical literally means that it's not real. What?
Yo, it's not our problem anymore, though, guys. Isn't that beautiful? Like, we can finally be honest.
You know what's even crazier? They might get a play-in versus Toronto, and Canada's not lifting any COVID vaccine things because they're very strict on that stuff. So they're not gonna have Kyrie for the play-in tournament versus the Raptors. It's like,
are the Raptors even playing in Canada? I don't think the Raptors are even playing in Canada, though.
No, they're playing in Toronto.
Are they really?
Yeah. They just got fans back. Like, half the season they didn't even have fans there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they got so many just weird barriers that are unchangeable. It's like their locker room has got to be crap. Like, imagine a player who got traded to your team you don't even know just come in and be like, yeah, I'm starting the first playoff game without even practicing, without barely practicing. Like, imagine, like, that's just not going to work.
It's not going to work. It's simple. It's not going to work. And if Harden plays this full season out with Embiid, he already played more games with Embiid than he did with the super team of the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, I mean
their defense is just
having an NBA team in another country. You know, I guess you don't realize how bad of an idea it is until like a national thing or an international thing occurs where every country can have their own rules, and then you're like, oh shit, like we can't play in Canada, or worse, we can play in Canada, but they still have rules that we don't have. Yeah, that's complicated. I mean, it's literally like the definition of a communist country, not like a tyrannical one, but I'm just saying they can do things that, you know, the United States can't, and they were locked down way longer than anybody else. I'm surprised they have fans right now.
Yeah, they cut it to 50%, like a couple weeks into the season. I feel bad for the players up there, man. That's so hard to play, especially when you're playing in Florida. Like, who the hell in Florida is like, oh, thank God the Raptors are coming to town for their season. I love the Raptors. No one,
Is
it's the
that?
furthest
I didn't even realize
possible city.
that's where they're playing. That's where
Yeah,
they
they're
were
playing
playing.
in Tampa
Yeah.
the whole bubble season. Like, of course they're gonna suck. They're playing
Yeah.
400 miles away from where they normally play.
Players probably hated that.
50-50. I
Definitely.
mean, would you rather
Yeah,
Would you rather play games in Florida or freezing
Yeah,
cold
but-
Toronto and listen to "Oh Canada" before every game?
Yeah, I guess you got a point.
Yeah, probably. But it's
You got
gonna
a
suck
point.
not playing in front of real fans. Yeah, it's like a 50-50 thing. It's like,
Plus,
oh,
their
nice, nice
families in Toronto, most likely. I guess I don't know. Maybe.
outside. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
So
I don't know, man.
what do we think about the Boston Celtics? They won
they're
9 in
pretty
a row
nice.
again.
They're good.
I'm a Celtics
Um,
fan, so I think I should take this over because I'm a Celtics fan.
Like if we're going to talk about
According
the
to this
biggest
fan.
the biggest like if we're going to talk the biggest hurdle for us when we're in the playoffs in like a championship run. Like Boston scares me because they first of all they smoked us by 48. That was before we had James Harden, of course, but like they only added Daniel Tice, but something happened where their interior defense, I mean, they got 2 or 3 guys down there that can double team Embiid and stuff, and they gave him trouble that game specifically, but they're also third in the NBA in rebounds per game, and those are the teams that we struggle against. The Milwaukee Bucks, the Boston Celtics, the New York Knicks. Not that the Knicks are going to be anywhere close. I'm just saying like rebounds per game, big athletic teams that we're going to struggle against. And the Cavaliers, the Raptors, the Miami Heat, the Brooklyn Nets, all these teams are ahead of us in rebounds per game. We're actually second to last in the entire NBA. But
Not anymore,
like-
dude. The savior DeAndre Jordan's coming in.
Oh yeah,
I think the Celtics are legit. They've been legit. They've beaten 9 good playoff teams. Jaylen Brown's out though, so that's gonna hurt. Like they're gonna lose a little bit. Really bad timing for them because Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have been huge. I think what makes them so good is like they have a lot of guys who like to facilitate like with dribbling a lot, but Derek White is a guy who's a really quick passer, and they really, really needed that. Like they really needed a guy to come in to make really quick decisions, and Derek White's really good at that. And Jason Tatum has improved a lot over the course of a month with playmaking, and so was Jaylen Brown. Like they're starting to realize like the offense needs to be more team oriented, and defensively they've been nasty. So
yeah, all year too. Their defense is good because
Yeah,
they could
and
switch everything,
everything.
and that would be annoying with Harden because they would just switch and it would turn into ISO ball for the Sixers, which could be a good thing or bad thing depending if we're hot or not.
Boston matches up with us really well, especially because Tatum is like a premier defender this year.
But Harden averaged 30 points a game against them in the playoffs last year. But
That's
it's
true.
a different team.
Totally different
So.
team. And Boston was like slipping then and just looked like they didn't want to be there. And it was a 1-8 game or 2-7, whatever it was.
Oh, no, I'm only afraid of the Heat, to be honest, just because their coach is so good. So
Milwaukee a little
yeah.
bit too.
no, I want Milwaukee first round. Give me Milwaukee. I'm not afraid of Milwaukee at all. Not at all.
You're not afraid of Milwaukee at all?
Because number one, it's hard to win back-to-back championships. I don't think they won it as much. And then number two, I feel like we match up very well against them. And that's pretty much all my explanation. I just have a good feeling against them. I've always had. Last year, I wanted to play them too.
I just don't want to go up against a team where they have a player that's on Embiid's level because there's probably only one of those teams.
Yeah,
Just
but you
simply-
could put Embiid on Giannis.
No, I don't even mean matchup. I just mean like a player at the caliber of Embiid's level. Like in a playoff series, I want the best player on the court. That's how you win. You have the best player on the court. And Giannis is arguably better than Joel Embiid. So like that's the only reason I don't want to see. I'm not worried about Miami. Miami's really good. Their depth, talk about team chemistry over star power.
They make shots.
But okay, but James Harden and Embiid
They
are better
make
than
shots,
anyone on that team. We have the 2 best players on the court at the whole time. Like they make shots. They're
They make
defensively
shots.
good. Kyle
I'm not worried
Lowry's
about
good.
Giannis.
They got a lot of dudes, but I'll take the team with the 2 best players.
I think Milwaukee's deep, athletic. Obviously, they have a veteran point guard that is also a great defender. Giannis, a perfect second man in Chris Middleton. But yeah, I mean, like Giannis individually doesn't scare me that much. He's over athletic. Like he's a giant Russell Westbrook to me. He's a better passer, but I just think he's physically dominant, overpowers people, and once he runs into a team that can strategically stop him from just plowing his way to the rim, like there's a lot of instances where he kind of folds. He beat us in overtime last season and sat on the court, and we were playing without Embiid.
Yeah, Furkan was going head-to-head with him in that game.
Nick Stauskas signing with the Celtics.
What? Are you serious?
Are you serious?
Swear to God.
Come on, man. Morey, what are you doing?
We missed that one. But I also want to say Giannis dropped 50 points in a closeout game in the finals last year. So
I agree with DJ.
That is true.
Nick Stauskas is trash.
And now he's trash because he's signed for the No, that is true. He did score 50, but in that final series, man, like Milwaukee was trying to run it through Giannis for like 3 games, and as soon as they finally realized we need Drew Holiday to run the show in the half court, and they started running pick and rolls with Drew Holiday at the top and dropping it down to Giannis underneath, it was like, I mean, it makes perfect sense, but they tried to force feed Giannis for 2 or 3 games, and then they finally started running a basic pick and roll with a point guard. And then Giannis was more free to run around under the basket, and that changed everything.
Cavs don't scare me.
People underrate how much Drew Holiday had an effect on taking that team to a championship.
He was huge, man. No, the Cavs aren't scary at all. I mean, I'm not afraid of a team that can't stretch the floor out because Embiid will save so much energy on the defensive end and just live in the paint and score 50 on them, like every single day. And Cleveland has nobody who's going to stretch the floor out. They have 3 centers, dude. Like, what are you going to do? You're just going to foul.
Who's going to guard Harden? Isaac Okoro, I guess?
Okoro, maybe? Yeah, Okoro probably.
I think Maxey could tear up Garland, though.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. And
Garland's
no
not a good defender.
I mean, they're going to struggle.
Stauskas isn't even going to get on the floor.
It's a 2-way contract, by the way.
G League All-Star, I don't
it?
care. G League All-Star, I don't care about it. I don't care about it. He wasn't good. He wasn't good 10 years ago. He's not good now.
Nah,
There's no way.
He's got the muscle, man. Now.
Yep, he's good.
Yep. What is he? Barry Bonds? He added 10 pounds of muscle when he's 34.
All he got to do is shoot threes and look good in the corner. He's gonna get open.
He's better than
shots.
Korkmaz, man. I would have taken him over Furk.
That would be my new Furk, man. It was perfect.
I hate you, dude. I just hate you.
Just wait till
Nick
bails
Stauskas
us out
is
again.
not good. I'm willing to listen. Furkan Korkmaz would drop 57 in a G League game randomly. He would get on fire and he would drop 57. He would come to the NBA and look like he looks right now. Nick Stauskas is not good.
Nah, Furk's averaging like 16 a game.
Dude, Furk could go for 17 and you won't hear a peep on on Sixers Twitter. But if he misses 2 shots, oh man, the world's ending. But then if Isaiah Joe comes in,
this guy says 2 shots. He's shooting 29% on the entire season.
I'm just saying, like
2 shots.
He's had a lot. He's had a lot of good games this year, and it's just like
Twitter was so annoying. Twitter was
a lot of good games
when he was
killing a lot of good games
that
this year.
2-week span where he was shooting like 50% from 3. Everybody on Twitter is like, "Oh, Furkan Korkmaz." Romp was probably like, "Oh, Furkan, the analytics."
I was just saying. I was saying the same thing I say now. He's decent. And he could get hot,
He's bad at everything he does.
Now that's
Greg, the SG experience says
right there.
Giannis is not better than Embiid.
What's a nab? Is that like a British slang to call me something?
I don't know, but he's angry at you saying Giannis is better than Embiid or arguably better. You threw the word arguably in there. Like people could make the argument.
Yes, I made a very objective.
I agree, though. I agree that Embiid's a lot more skilled than Giannis, but you were saying. You were saying comparatively 2 very, very dominant players.
Yo, I would like to say that I don't know if you guys remember, but the beef between Giannis and Harden is extremely real.
I remember that. Yeah.
Dude, Harden was like, I wish I was 7 feet tall and had no skill. He's like, Giannis doesn't have any skill. And then the time Giannis threw the ball and it hit Harden's back of his head, and when those two were going at the MVP race, there's actually a really good video on YouTube that talks about their beef, and it's crazy. Like it's that would be an intense series. I'm here for that now, thinking about it.
That would be amazing. Yeah, he was like, if I was 7 feet tall, I could just run and dunk. He's like, but I'm not, so I actually have to learn how to play the game.
That's messed up.
That's how he said it. It's true. But Giannis has developed his jump shot. Probably more than people thought he was going to.
He's a stud.
He's a stud.
He's top. Him and Embiid are the best players in the NBA right now.
Oh, we're not gonna throw Jokic in there, man. Don't let Nuggets Twitter get a hold of this video.
Jokic is Raptor and trying Santa Force reps is crazy, dude. Some of his analytics.
I watched
his
Jokic
advanced adjusted box score plus minus is through the roof.
Wild.
He's great. Don't get me wrong, but
we're making a joke about his
advanced. Not this year, man. Not this year. Raptor.
They even argue.
Isaiah Roby outplayed him.
Yo, Isaiah Roby went crazy yesterday. He went crazy yesterday, dude. Oh my god.
If the Nuggets get healthy though, low key we might see him in the finals.
Get Swipe a Cam in here. I wouldn't want to outnumber him, but Swipe a Cam is the Denver Nuggets content creator that just my guy just rattles off advanced statistics like it's.
Dude, he's got them just.
He has them memorized, man.
Really.
You got to give him props for that, though.
I give him props all the time, but it's a reach, man. It just comes off to me like you have to reach for these very deep advanced analytics to be able to make the argument.
It's overcompensating. It's
Yeah.
like driving a really, really loud car. Like, all right, dude, we hear you. We hear you. But the car's not that cool, you know? Embiid's a smooth running car that occasionally might break down on the side of the road when you really, really need it to. But then it'll come back up and it kills it. That's my analogy.
Yeah. They even make the argument that Jokic is a better defender. And the problem with advanced analytics is it's not real life. You can just watch two guys play basketball and say, wow, that guy's 7'2", 280, and just went from the 3-point line to swatting a shot into the fifth row in a split second. He's a better defender. Or you could do all of these things about what player was on the floor at a certain time in a certain point of the game and how many minutes he played alongside these players and this player and plus minus adjusted box score. And come on, man. I'm not. Yeah.
Jokic is really good though. We should agree. We should just accept that both of them are very, very good. And it's a really cool time in history right now where, again, it's a big man league. The three best players in the NBA are all arguably centers. All big men.
Jokic is amazing. He's a 7-foot point guard.
Yeah. Did you see Swipa's tweet today when he was like, yo, you're right, Embiid's the best center in the NBA because Jokic is the best overall player in the NBA. Dude, come on.
My problem with Jokic is he's not aggressive enough sometimes.
Yeah.
Right, I was going to say he's like a 7-foot point guard, but does that really take you to an NBA championship? You know what I mean? Does he have it in him to, when the game breaks down and it's like, okay, who's going to take over and dominate the game? I mean,
Yeah, I believe in him. I think Jokic has done it. He's good in the playoffs. I just
he's a
think
great shooter, too.
He makes it look really, really hard, but he does get it done. He's not the go-to clutch bucket getter, but he has been in the past. I think Jokic is a 10 out of 10. I just so happen to think Embiid's a 10.5 out of 10. And that's no knock to Jokic. It's just that I think Embiid's the better player, And it probably comes down to...
you probably watch him more, right, too? It's just
yeah.
You can't control your bias. You can, but at the end of the day, you really can't. So
you can't.
You can't. So obviously, if you're a Sixers fan, you're going to say Embiid. But if you're a Nuggets fan watching every Nuggets game, I watch a good majority of Nuggets game here and there, but I'm still a little biased because I watch every minute of the Sixers game. So like I might miss Jokic messing, going ham,
What about
So
his
it's just an
minus
argument
47?
that it's never going to get solved. It's going to be like this for the next how long they keep playing.
Exactly. That's why when I brought Swipe came on the stream, and the way that Nuggets fans talk about it is that what they're saying is absolute fact. And my take on the argument was these are two great players who are different types of players. They're not very comparable. You could pick either one for MVP. You can't really say the other one was or wasn't. His take was this is the Jokic era, and Embiid is not like that's how the Nuggets fans think about this, that Jokic is miles ahead of everyone. And I'm like, it's just not that way.
The Jokic and Embiid.
But I love you, Swipe. I love you if you're listening, or if you listen to this back. I love you, but you're entirely wrong about Jokic being that much better than everyone.
I love that, like, Jokic is now like the big thing. A lot of arguments for Jokic was like he has a historically high PER this year, which is like sabermetric nerds' wet dream of a statistic. Like he has the highest PER in NBA history this year, and Giannis just passed it like 2 days ago. So now I'm like, dude. Nuggets fans are running out of ammo because a lot of their historical statistics, Giannis is now taking over.
Dude.
And if you don't have PER and the Raptor and the LeBron and whatever the other stats are, what do you got? Because when it comes to eye test, I think it's Embiid. It really is.
PER is I hate that.
Yeah.
The thing is, look, Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis, their PER is so close. It's like
I just googled it right now. Yep. I just googled it right now.
It's
highest
crazy.
PERs in the league: Jokic, Giannis, Joel Embiid, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Luka Doncic, Trae Young, James Harden, Ja Morant, DeMar DeRozan. I mean, they're all in line. Jokic is the highest, but
is it the highest again?
Jokic is 54.9, Giannis is 53.4. But you're right. Like if there's 4 players above 50 within 0.6 difference of PER, is that really first, second, third, and fourth, or is that all kind of the same thing?
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, he's shooting 47% from 3, and your dude's only shooting 46.4. I'm like, oh, okay.
Exactly.
Not getting Jokic versus Embiid off series is tragic. That would be fun. It'd be a fun NBA Finals.
Oh, it'd be beautiful.
Nuggets just have had injury issues for a while now, man.
If they get healthy, though, another if.
Bro, Jamal Murray is a playoff demon, though.
He is.
Well,
man.
in the bubble, though.
I don't want to play him, bro.
He missed his whole season.
Yeah.
Was he supposed to come back at some point?
No. He tore his ACL late last year.
No, he'll come back. He's supposed to come back soon for the playoffs.
And what about KPJ? MPJ, I mean, not KPJ. That's
supposedly he's like a week away or something like that.
Really? Wow.
So they should be ready for the playoffs.
Injury? What's Michael Porter Jr.'s injury?
I don't know.
I think it was back. I think he had a back thing again because I know that was his thing coming out of college. I think it was that.
Yeah.
That's what it was again.
Not even coming out of college. He only played one. He played like 2 games in college. Missed that entire season.
Him and his brother.
My thing with MPJ is he can either win you a game or just shoot you completely out of a game.
They have a lot of guys like that. Will Barton's the same way. Will Barton went 1 of 10 yesterday and 0 of 9 from 3. Like that's just the type of dudes that they have. They're just gonna they're their volume scorers who like all have the shortest memory. So like first shot missed. It's all right. Got the next shot.
Thoughts on Fultz? I didn't watch his highlights. I meant to watch his highlights the other night.
He's gonna be good. His game is.
I meant to watch his highlights the other night. My thing with him has always been I'll watch his highlights and I want to see his 3-point shot because it's never been the same that it was at Washington. It's never been the same. Whatever he did, whatever that was, motorcycle accident, whatever it was, that he had some kind of muscular, scapular, whatever, where he went to see 17 different specialists and flying across the country. Nobody could figure out what the hell was wrong with his shoulder. The muscle wasn't correctly on the bone, like all this weird shit. It's never been the same. It's never been that high release, perfect looking 3-point shot that he had in college.
His pull up midi was kind of nice, but he's not a shooter.
Yeah, he's never gonna be.
No.
What
But
happened?
he's
That's
still
crazy.
so
What
fun to
happened?
watch.
He is fun to watch, man. He's
So fun.
He's really lanky and long, and he's just very shifty. And I like the way
Right.
he plays the game. He's a great passer, man. He's
Yeah.
a great
Uh-huh.
passer. Great.
I respect him too. I think
I do
But that's
too.
sad
he's
because
way different from Ben Simmons.
I
Way.
really
That's sad
want him
because
to be good. I really
that's why he was a
want
number 1 overall pick, because he had all of those things. Plus, he had a pull-up 3-point range like jump shot. He had the total package.
He had the
Anybody that
James
says he
Harden
wasn't the
player
number 1
comp.
pick in that draft,
He had the
crazy.
James Harden player comp, man. That's what we
what
wanted
happened
him to be.
what happened to the 3?
Just unlucky, man. He got that shoulder injury and Sixers luck, bro.
Unbelievable, just black cloud. You know, if he wouldn't have been drafted by the Sixers, he'd probably be a superstar at this point.
I like watching him now. And it's good we got Tyrese Maxey back, so it's not like
A waste.
so like I enjoy watching him.
Somebody said
Because-
Fultz is 22. There's no way he's only 22.
He's pretty young.
Yeah. Came out after his freshman year.
Yeah, I think he was 19 when he was a rookie, right? He might be 22. Shit.
23. Not bad.
I love him, man.
Yeah, I love him too.
I'll always love him. I feel bad. I think there was probably a lot of stuff going on under the table. There's probably so many people in his ear telling him what they thought he should do, and he's a 19-year-old kid, man. And
Yep.
the city of Philadelphia is so hard to be good in, especially when you're the number 1 pick and it doesn't look good. That I'm glad that he's in the middle of nowhere basketball town where no one gives a shit because they're all tourists going to Disney World. I hope he's good, man. I hope he's good.
You know,
Just shit
You
on
know-
Orlando.
you know why Philadelphia loved Markelle Fultz? With all of the problems that he had, every single time he ended up back on the court, they were right behind him, cheering their faces off when he hit a 3 or when he'd even be just on the court trying, because that dude had everything against him, like with all of the physical issues he started to have, but he never, ever, ever gave even an inclining of quitting or being defeated or anything like
Yep.
that. Like he always kept trying, and that's what Philadelphia respects. And then you get this fraud who's 6'10", doesn't have any physical issues at all, and just has a mental issue. And we even stood behind him for a long time, but at least Fultz it was something he tried to overcome, and he physically couldn't.
And then he tore his ACL when he was playing well, like the first 15 games, and now he's back again, and
Yeah.
he's been playing
Never-
very well. It's crazy, like
He did
Never
catch a
cried,
bag.
and
never
he didn't
asked for a
he
trade.
He didn't shit on the Philly fans. He said he respects the Philly fans in that interview. He
Yeah.
never shit on them. That was the media completely
Well, that's a
fabricated
good
that situation.
It's a good way to put it is like when people say we boo our own players, like they try to make it sound like we randomly pick a player and attack them for no reason. Did TJ McConnell ever get booed by this fan base? No, because he tried his heart out every single night, diving on the floor. He's just a dog. That's what this city loves. Markelle Fultz never got booed by this city, even though he had all of the physical issues that he went through. This crowd respects just effort and hustle and heart. Ben Simmons started to get booed because we saw him diminish, and he has no soul. He has no heart. We hate that. And that's why Tobias Harris gets booed sometimes, because he quits.
Complaints
He misses
to the refs.
He misses a shot, and then he passes up wide open ones, and we start booing him because we see him quitting.
Tobias is so hard to like for so many different reasons. Like he really is so difficult to like. Like I've tried to be like, hey, he's almost a 50-40-90 guy, but in reality, like it's brutal to watch him play. And with Ben Simmons, like it's the reason why we boo him and hated him. The epitome of it is passing up on a wide open dunk because of whatever he's thinking in the moment of a game 7 where we're down 2, and instead of dunking on Trae Young, he passes it to Matisse Thybulle. Like that's the epitome. Markelle Fultz, he may have had that blocked, but you know damn well he's going up with that dunk. Also, he's the youngest player to ever record a triple-double before Josh Giddey. So that's pretty cool. That was pretty cool. And Lonzo, I think, beat him.
Yep, 10, 10, and 10. I remember that game, and they celebrated 10, 10, and 10, man.
We went crazy.
No, I think I'm wrong. That was actually TJ McConnell's only triple-double was 10, 10, and 10.
That was TJ.
Fultz might have had a higher one. 10, 10, and 10.
Remember when Ben Simmons got like a
Bro, TJ McConnell got 10 rebounds in an NBA game. How crazy is that?
at this
Tobias
time?
Harris can't get more than like 7 ever.
At this time last year, people were arguing about Ben Simmons putting up 8 points a game and like 6 assists and 8 rebounds, and they were like, he actually put up 82 points altogether if you count them all together. And
That's
me
what the
and
Nets are
DJ
doing.
and everyone, Greg probably too, were Ben Simmons sucks, and we were getting blasted by people for that.
They were reaching so hard. They would
It
be
was
like,
crazy.
Well, listen, he plays elite defense. He's a facilitator, and he's still giving you 9, 7, and 6. And I'm like, did you just say 9, 7, and 6 out loud? That's not good.
The Nets spaces today were talking about like they were like, we have the greatest shooting team of all time in NBA history, and we have a guy who creates more 3-point opportunities than anybody else. And people were like,
He's the most
He's
overrated
gotta be-
playmaker of all time.
they just
Bro.
make up stats. Like, that's not a stat. They're just making up random shit to support their argument.
That's a perfect example of how advanced stats are subjective and ultimately mean absolutely nothing, because when you watch the game, the defense isn't anywhere close to him. And when it starts to break down in the fourth quarter, he can't set up anybody. So for 3 quarters, he gets a rebound, transition, hits a guy before the defense is set there. He created a 3-point shot. I get that. But in crunch time, he can't even have the ball in his hands. So all of those advanced stats that they're going to reach for are ones that we know because we watched for 5 years. They don't mean anything.
And if you think about it, did we ever hear of that stat before Ben Simmons? Like that, no one. That was a stat. That was a stat.
It's never
made up.
existed.
It never existed. It never existed until like Simmons, like the hate started piling on him, and they were like, "Oh, but 3-pointers created." You know, some random analytic nerd who loved Simmons was like, "I need to find some case to provide to be like, this is why he's good," because that was not a stat. That was never something people talked about before Ben Simmons.
No, there's not a hockey assist in basketball. Like, they're literally calculating him driving and kicking to somebody who kicks to somebody else and saying that he created that play, so he created those points. So really he created, they'd be like, well, he created 76 points. Okay, you lost 120 to 99. He didn't shoot the ball the whole game and he created 76. That wasn't enough points.
Unreal, dude.
What else can you say?
Unreal.
If you're not shooting the entire game, I need you to create 120 points then, I guess. I don't know.
Just like, isn't it so amazing that we watched James Harden hit a step back 3 at the end of a shot clock? We're just like, he's just kind of like, I'm just gonna hit a 3 this possession. And it's just like, that's the greatest thing in the world to have a guard who wants to shoot threes and is really good, and he's left-handed, so it's kind of like a little bit funnier.
A little bit.
Do you think left-handed makes it harder to stop? Like, just the way that his body's positioned and things like that. Like, it's harder to guard.
Probably.
I know I used to have trouble with it. I used to have a hard time guarding lefties for some reason. I don't know why.
You can't figure out where they're going to bring the ball up or anything. It's like they're off balance and off center, and I don't know.
I've never seen a lefty who couldn't shoot. Oh wait,
that's so true, dude. So
Ben
true.
Simmons.
He's not even a lefty though.
Yeah, he's not a lefty. He's not a lefty.
He shoots lefty, so
yeah. But Harden he's such a basketball genius. Here's another reason he's a basketball genius. Have you ever seen that step back in the history of the game? Like, he literally invented a move.
Yep.
He manipulates the game to such a level that he broke it down in slow motion and said, okay, I'm allowed a gather step, right? That's in the rule book. So when I dribble and take a step here, I'm still gathering so I can take this extra little half step and push even farther. Like, who studies the game that hard to figure that out and create that? Because he really does take a little half a step and pushes even more. It's like an advanced step back that broke the rule book. It's like, wait, is this a travel or not? We can't figure it out. He's that smart.
It's incredible. And like you said, I don't think anyone else has ever done that. Like, he was really the first one to understand the rule book to that extent. Dude, his IQ is insane. But
yeah, he's outsmart. Yeah, he's thinking more than working.
It's also kudos to the refs for not calling it a travel in the beginning, because they were like, refs are probably pretty good knowing the rules, but like, that is so, like, Harden is walking on the fine line between legal and not, and he does it better than anybody I've ever seen in my life.
In fast motion, it looks like 4 steps. But then you watch it and you're like, wait, he's dribbles here, he gathers, and he takes like 2 little half steps as he's gathering. I don't know. I guess it's legal.
And if you pay attention, like everybody always used to be like, Harden, he travels every time. Harden travels every time. But now you never hear anybody complain about traveling.
No, they've accepted the fact that it's technically legal and there's nothing they can do about it.
He's a beast. And we have
the same goes with him baiting defenders into fouling him. Like I used to say that he baits officials, but now that I really watch him closely, he's just so smart at drawing fouls. Like you put your arm out to the right 6 inches, he's going under your wrist with the ball.
Yeah,
he draws fouls.
Yeah,
if it's so easy, everyone would do it. You know.
Yeah, that's we're very biased, but. Watching Harden, like Harden's thing is like he always reaches his arm out to make like the defender think they can tap it away, and then he just swipes up every time, and it's so impressive. It's
to us, it's so impressive, but on the opposition, you're like, oh, that's such a pussy move, you know?
Super corny. Like he's like Chris
corny.
Paul. He's like Chris Paul. You hate him until he's on your team. It's like Embiid. Embiid is the center version of James Harden. They are so similar to each other. It's crazy.
Bro, Maxey's going to start getting to the line too. That's what people don't realize because he doesn't get the calls he deserves. Once he gets a reputation, a star reputation, he's going to get way more calls and he'll be averaging like 6 free throws.
That was in your breakdown too, where he absolutely got mollywopped and tackled in the lane.
Yeah, it's like
by what's his name, and no call at all. He landed flat on his back. Like,
dude, Harden would have got like a flagrant one for that.
Dude, Sims would have got kicked out of the game.
Probably.
Maxey gets plastered in the paint, never gets a call.
He's so good, bro.
So good.
One thing about Maxey, dude, like we have put him in so many situations. Like last year, play next to Ben Simmons, even though you're not a shooter. He produced still. And then this year, we're like, yeah, run the point guard. He still produced. And then when Embiid was out, be the first option, average 25 a game. He produced. And now we're like, oh, Harden's here. How about you are the shooting guard now, the third option or whatever, a different role, and he's still producing. No matter where you put this kid, he's going to produce. He's a real basketball player. And he doesn't care. He doesn't complain. He just accepts what it is. And that's why I love him. Like, I wish Tobias had that gene in him, but obviously not.
No, he doesn't.
Tobias,
I think Tobias.
Yeah, he's slow.
Tobias might be at the point where he's like known his whole life. You know, I was in the NBA. I was pretty good, but like I'm not a superstar, and they paid me an ass ton of money. I'm cool. I got paid way more than I should have. I'm fine. Like I don't think he does. He really care that much?
I think I think he cares right now. Like I think he doesn't feel confident and doesn't feel good because everybody knows that he's the odd man out. And I think that affects him a little bit, and you can tell on the court, but he did get his bag, so hey, whatever, dude.
Exactly. Like, you know, I don't know, man. I guess
he has played well in the fourth quarters recently. So there's that, I guess.
The fourth quarter last game, yeah, he hit 2 shots, I believe, that were just quick decision catch and shoot shots, and it's like if he can just get into that mode of himself.
Don't dribble.
Just don't dribble. Yeah, catch it and shoot it or pass it.
Like the coaches have to be telling him this, right? Like they got to be. Because if we notice it, they got to notice it too. So it's like I feel like he thinks he's better than he is. When in reality, him doing less would make him a better player. But he's trying to do something that he's not capable of.
Doc said that the first year we had him, Doc said that though. Like that's been the thing. Like the less you do, the better you are. Like just oversimplify the game for Tobias Harris because he is such a head case. Like he is constantly overthinking everything. And I'm like, dude, just play basketball, man. Just
is he unchangeable? Can he be changed? Probably not, right?
No, dude. He's been in the league for how long?
Yeah. And that's how he got that contract. The way he played, the way he's playing now, that's how he got that contract. So he's like, I made all this money from that way. Why would I change?
Yo, Nick Stauskas signs a 2-year deal with Boston.
Come on.
Signed
Wow.
a
Dude sucks.
2-year deal, bro. Nah, he's the man.
Off of a
Brother.
57-point game in the G League.
And 43. He had 43 the next game.
He would have been in the NBA years ago for a long time. Do you know he was the 9th overall pick in the NBA draft? He was a top 10 pick, and he wasn't good. He was good at Michigan. They thought he was the next like JJ Redick plus has like ball handling skills and can finish at the rim. He was dunking in Michigan. They thought he was like, I don't know, and he just wasn't. And he's still not. I'm not on it. If he proves me wrong, that's cool. I'm always one for my fellow Caucasians in the NBA succeeding. Makes me feel good, and it just does. You know that. You see a white wide receiver in the NFL, you're like, oh, there's a white guy. That's pretty cool. But but I'm not going Nick Stauskas. I don't know, man. Whatever. If it proves me wrong, that's fine. Joseph, thanks for that. This is a good point. Allen Iverson came into the league with the high hesitation dribble crossover that everybody does now. Honestly, people still don't do the crossover that Iverson had. And this is a good example of how the game just keeps evolving. These things weren't done in the 70s and 80s and 90s. And when Iverson started doing that, everybody in the world was calling it a carry. Everybody. All the old guys were like, oh, he carries the ball the entire game. He has his hand under the ball. It's a carry. And they were so mad about it. And that's the same thing with what James Harden does with that step back, with people saying that it's a travel. The game just keeps evolving, and there's guys that kind of are just kind of geniuses and outsmart the rule book. Iverson would have his hand literally on the side of the ball and would do this really wide hesitation. And it wasn't a carry, but it was such a pause that it looked like he was carrying the ball. And he would he crossed over Jordan with it. He crossed Michael Jordan out of his shoes with that crossover, and nobody had seen it at that point. And they were like, what the hell just happened? We can go all the way back to the 90s when Michael Jordan was jumping from almost the foul line, and you never saw anybody do that. Before then, they started calling him Air Jordan because they thought he floated through the air because they never saw anybody jump like that. Now there's a kid down the street from my house right now that can dunk from the foul line. The game evolves. You know what I mean?
Damn.
That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
I'm tired. We've been up here for 2 hours. You guys got anything else, man?
James Harden is a 76er.
Yes!
Dude, I've been sleeping really well lately, guys. I don't know about you, but I've been going to sleep. I've been waking up happy because James Harden's a Sixer. He's my lock screen. We're feeling good.
Well, I have a 6-year-old, so I haven't been sleeping well, but congratulations.
Sixers are the most entertaining team in the league and the most talked about team. So
And the best.
that's a first in a while.
And the best, maybe?
And one of the best. I don't want to get too cocky because I feel like I don't want to be that type,
I do. We deserve this, Romp. Just say it. Say it out loud right now. See how it feels.
No,
see how it feels.
I'm jinx it.
Just say it.
I'm a jinx it. I can't do that. I'm not going to jinx it
right.
here. You know what happens.
You're right. You're like 0 for 4. So.
James Harden is so good at playmaking, it's unbelievable. Like I feel like I'm watching the Harlem Globetrotters sometimes. He just throws passes all over the place without even looking.
See that? Yeah, dude. By the way, if anyone's a gambler, take the over on Matisse Thybulle because FanDuel's tweaking right now, and they keep putting him at 5.5 points a game. And if you have James Harden, he's going to get 7 points like every time.
Betting apps never catch up, man. Like the spread on the first Sixers game with James Harden was 1.5 points against the Minnesota Timberwolves. That was an easy lock.
It was also an over-under of like 219, easy over. And the second one was an easy over. And
the second one was 229, and that was even an easy over.
And it's a minus 9.5 against the Knicks at home. I'm like, dude, it's such an you easily take that.
Yep. And they were down 7 at halftime. I still knew they were going to cover that spread.
Yeah, easy. I was not worried about losing that game once. That's the beauty of James Harden. Also, like Embiid had a really bad first half. And
horrible.
Harden was disgusting. Like Harden was so good. That's the beauty of having him on the team. That like normally that game it would be the Boston Celtics game. We would be down by 24 at the half, but instead we're down. But like what was it, 8 at the half because Harden came in and was like, "I got you guys."
That's what Embiid's been missing this whole time. When I'm getting shut down or my jumper's not going in and I'm struggling, who else can step up and do something? We have one of the best to ever score a basketball next to Joel Embiid. And let me say this before this stream is over. James Harden is just now getting in shape. Like his post-game press conference, he's like, yeah, I'm excited to be here every day. I'm working now. We're doing workouts and I'm lifting legs. And I'm like, this guy hasn't been working out this whole time. He's just now starting to work out. He's going to get even better.
Gets layups now.
Because I think Harden's right now like, okay, now I have a reason, because he is one of those players. If he doesn't feel like I've done this much in the NBA, I could quit right now, go hang out with Lil Baby and Jack Harlow and in a studio and not care that much. But I think now he feels like, okay, there's a reason for me to try to be great for the next 5 years. Now I'm gonna go back in the gym and get back in better shape. And dude, he might come back like next season and just be.
This is Houston Harden, not Brooklyn Harden. And Houston Harden was a problem.
It's Houston
Harden was unbelievable. I mean,
Harden, but we don't need him to go out and score 60 points. We just need 25. So it's even better.
Dude, Embiid's still scoring like 30 a game.
It's crazy.
It feels like he's not even scoring.
I know. That's a really good point, Romp. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I just feel like Embiid hasn't really put up a lot of points. The dude had 37 points 2 games ago.
Because he's getting layups now.
Game.
Finally.
It's crazy. You just don't see him with those step back, double contested mid-range jumpers.
He did one. He did one last night, and it was funny because he wanted to do it. Like Harden was calling for the ball at the top of the key, and Embiid was like, "Nah, I'm gonna shoot this fadeaway over 2 guys because I'm still Joel Embiid. Like I still want to do this once in a while." Is Korkmaz gone this summer
with Harden? Can we sign him to multiple years?
Yeah.
Korkmaz.
Yeah, he's a culture guy, man. He's setting the culture.
Sadly, he's not gone this summer. But Isaiah Joe deserves his minutes. That's where I'm at with that question. But thank you, Connor, for the support. The other move is the Tim Hardaway crossover before Iverson came with his crossover. Then you can also add the Euro step before Harden move, which Manu brought too. Yo, good point, Flip man.
Euro step.
The Euro step,
dude, I was
from Manu Ginobili. That was like
early. I was like 10 years old. I was doing Euros at camp, and I would not do anything but a Euro step. And I would always get yelled at. Yeah, I loved it.
Me in high school, like we started doing that a little bit. I started doing it on the playground courts and stuff like that, just watching NBA players like Manu Ginobili and stuff. But they would call that a travel every single time back when I was in there. They didn't understand it. They'd be like, "There's no way that happened." Because you're taking 2 steps, but you're hesitating with the 2 steps. That's another thing. Like, players are outsmarting the rules. Okay, I get 2 steps. You didn't say I can't do this with the 2 steps. I can step here and then step here. And it was like nobody understood it at first. And they were like, travel right away. And then, I used to do it on the courts, and they'd be like, travel. Or I would do, like, I would take a gather dribble and just take 2 huge steps down the lane. And a lot of people I played with were like, that's a travel. I'm like, it's 2 steps, bro. Count it.
Technical.
Yeah.
Thrown out.
Been there. I was playing a CYO game.
CYO? You're talking to a CYO state champion here. Okay.
Yeah, dude, we were solid. We were region champs. But anyway, it was CYO game. We're up 9-0. First minute, 20 seconds in the game, I hit 3 threes. I'm on fire. I have a bad turnover. I got the chase down block. All right. I want to say that I had a chase down block. I hit a little bit of hand, maybe. I got called for the foul. I screamed directly at the ref in a small Christian Catholic court gym. I said, F you, right to his face, top of my lungs. I got thrown out of the game.
Bro, CYO was different.
Yeah.
Characters in the league.
My dad was pissed.
Oh, yeah. I got my only technical in CYO. Only technical ever. I usually just keep to myself on the court, but I pushed this kid, and then my friend came behind him, and he pushed his dad, he pushed him into his dad, and then he flipped off the kids, and they had to have a meeting. He had to have a meeting with like the priest and all that. They were debating kicking him out of the league because this is a church league, and he's flipping people off, and there's a Jesus Christ cross, and he's flipping them off.
Hey, man. It's competition, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
It was funny.
Jesus understands. He was out there in sandals schooling people back in the day. You think he wasn't, they got a little heated probably back then.
Nothing like screaming at a parent F you right by the altar.
F you.
Oh, man. That's funny.
Damn, we have James Harden. Wow.
Yo, thanks everybody for coming through. 448 still in the chat, man. Hit the thumbs up on your way out. It's funny because we could just stream forever because you just keep getting, I think people leave and people come and it'll just stay at those numbers all day. So you don't want to leave when there's still 400 people here, but I don't think the number would ever go down. We could probably just talk until 4 in the morning and still have the number. So thanks everyone for being here. I'm extremely tired. Like I said, I haven't been sleeping well. I have a 6-year-old who wakes up at 5:30 in the morning now for absolutely no reason. And it sucks. He's great though. I love him. But yeah, I'm going to sleep. Thank you, Romp. Thank you, Greg Melly. We'll do it again. The day off collaboration.
Ooh, I like that.
Salute to everyone in the chat. Peace.